Today we have reports of some BTS streams dropping and ARMYs freaking out over this. We have CCTV footage of Jung Kook and rumors of him on a date and why people are saying that. And then we have fans demanding that HYBE sue reporters. So hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey Spilling Mug merch, and let's get into it. News finally broke about everything that happened on the camp and the day that Jin enlisted. Jin's enlistment was definitely a sad day, and more so because we had to say goodbye and we could see the boys being emotional. And even if the boys were not emotional, the way the video of BTS members saying goodbye was definitely edited in a way that was emotional. So it feels in touch with how the fandom felt that day. There were rumors days before the enlistment that talked about some stalkers or fans booking hotels near the event so they could stalk Jin going in or whatever. Of course, this was controversial because HYBE and Jin had asked ARMYs not to appear. I had said before I didn't really know if this was accurate or how many stalkers were actually doing that because I didn't see anyone flippantly bragging about stalking Jin. And of course, if you're a stalker, you wouldn't brag about it. So I wasn't sure who got that information, or was it just the people who worked at the hotel that noticed a sudden surge in bookings? Well, apparently the footage had come online and they were able to see who was actually there. I think Dispatch was there, and then some other networks I've never heard of before. TV10 was one of them who decided to do a live stream of the event. They obviously did not go into the camp or through the gates, but they seemingly set up their camera for 5 hours and just waited to see Jin. This was weird because even without me being there, I could have told you you probably weren't going to physically see Jin at all. Like, he would obviously be in a blacked out van, and obviously he wouldn't come out of the van to greet reporters at the gate because he hadn't arrived at where he needed to be yet, which was a location well behind the gates. So what ended up making it to the stream was just a bunch of blacked out vans, and I think most people guessed which one was Jin's and the other members. We saw some people in the area and by the gate, but we really don't know who these people are. Not everyone enlisting that day would have had a car, or some of them might have not even been wealthy enough to own one, so there could just have been parents walking to see their kid off that day. So obviously not everyone that was seen there was an ARMY or was there for Jin. And then it seemed like the majority of people there were just reporters. This was controversial online, and people were upset that even any reporters had shown up, as HYBE and Jin asked no one to come. In this situation, I don't think there was a press release for reporters and paparazzi to show up, as Jin never got out of the car, and there is no reason for reporters to be there because Jin or BTS isn't promoting anything. I think they were there just for themselves, and it seemed like they weren't even aware what time Jin would be there. Many people online were saying that HYBE needs to sue these reporters, and this is another instance of some people in the fandom not knowing how laws work. You're allowed to record the outside of the gates, and you're allowed to physically be outside on public property. They didn't violate anyone's personal space. Maybe the intention of why they were there, hoping to get a story or hoping that Jin will do something even more newsworthy, that can get a little gray, but there's no grounds for a lawsuit here. Of course, I think since the enlistment, ARMYs have been focusing on streaming more of the solo stuff, like what Jung Kook is doing, what RM is doing, etc. I think ARMYs have been streaming BTS as a group a lot less because there's a lot less music and there's just a lot of new content coming out within the boys' solo work. It's just impossible to devote all your time to streaming older music when there's so much new music that should make the charts. Obviously, HYBE and BTS are going to care more about new music doing well, and a lot of fans know that, so that is what they do. But recently, a new hashtag started to trend, and it said "Save BTS on Artist Chart." And this is basically because BTS streams have slipped slightly and have fallen down a bit. Again, this happens naturally as expected to happen. However, of course, ARMYs want BTS to live on, so they're asking everyone to keep streaming. Of course, if you do want to be a part of this movement here and quote-unquote save BTS, then please go over to Spotify and just stream their music. I think we should be focusing more on solo stuff right now though. That is just my opinion. Because what usually happens is labels see a song that does well, top in the charts again, etc., and then do promo for that song. And sometimes that happens with songs from years ago, right? In this case, if an old BTS song does start to climb the charts again, HYBE can't do anything because they can't have BTS do a show. I think it's of more importance for the stuff that HYBE is putting money into right now and doing promo for right now to do well now. So if you have to stream anything, I would stream those. Streaming Indigo by RM, stream Jack in the Box by J-Hope, or Left and Right. And And then when BTS returns as a group in 2025, I would almost bet that their streams would naturally go up as more armies try to stream in order to celebrate BTS's welcome back. But solo stuff for sure now seems to be what I believe is important. If you're streaming to support the boys, of course, if you're streaming just because you want to hear BTS as a group again, that's another thing. But streaming strictly for support the individual members right now. I think we will start to see a lot more of the members being reported on for a lot of random situations. As the individual members start to get their solo album out, they will have a lot more of the spotlight on them, and this is a different situation from when they were a group. Because a lot of people know of the group, but less of the individual members' names, and to be honest, I think some people in America know BTS's names, but they don't know who the members look like. They just know it's a Korean group. So any popular Korean singer is going to be BTS. This solo stuff is going to be able to get the boys' faces and individual names out there, which is more exciting. But of course, that means they will have more news coverage and more rumors about them. So embrace yourselves for impact. Weird stuff has been blowing up on TikTok lately on BTS, and a lot of it is just outrageously weird. Like for example, CCTV footage and footage that appears like BTS members, but it's not. Like these things that go in super viral. And then there becomes a lot of speculation on what is going on. Now I can't put any of this footage in here because it's released without anyone's permission, and while that's not against the law due to Korea's one-party consent law, ethically I don't want to post it. But what happened today? Well, apparently a photo of Jung Kook at a convenience store was posted online, and he was with someone, and it seemed like they were buying ramen. There's nothing inherently bad about this, but what the person leaking this footage was implying from the footage was what caused an uproar online. I will get to that in a minute. This is not the first time CCTV footage of Jung Kook has been leaked. There's never seems to be leakage of footage with the other members by themselves, but just Jung Kook. A little while ago, Jung Kook got into one of the first dating rumors he had that was more so quote-unquote believable. There's always been ships with Jung Kook and other female idols like IU or Lisa, but there's never been any real interaction between Jung Kook and those idols. However, the CCTV footage was leaked a while ago was with a girl named Miju, who is a tattoo artist. She has her own shop, and the footage, which I won't show either, but y'all know it. The footage showed Jung Kook hugging the girl. Miju adamantly denied dating Jung Kook, and I think she was dating someone else or had a boyfriend or something. That could be false, but she is not dating Jung Kook. Her and Jung Kook are just friends. She made that clear. And please stop assuming she's dating him. But HYBE threatened to take legal action on whoever ended up leaking the footage. It wasn't Miju, obviously, and it likely could have been a staff working there, or who knows. Same thing happened more recently with Jung Kook and this convenience store. Who knows who actually leaked it? It could be the store owner, it could be the cashier, it could be anyone. But the bottom line here is that security footage should definitely not be made public, really for many reasons. CCTV footage is there for personal safety and the safety of the store. You are violating trust of your customers and anyone who walks into your store knowing that footage could get posted online, or that maybe you wouldn't even be against selling the footage. And of course, any celebrity will never enter your shop knowing that they could end up on the internet trending if they do. By the way, Jung Kook convenience store was on top search when you search up his name on Twitter. This is what I have to say if the shop staff did leak the footage, but we don't know who did, and if it was a stalker or hacker that hacked into the cameras, then that is a different story. The footage was posted online, and the person that Jung Kook was with was said to be Taeyang. I want to emphasize that it could be Taeyang. It also could very well not be, because we don't see anything. You're going to have to trust me here, because again, I don't want to post it, and I mean, like, the supposed Taeyang's face is completely hidden by his hat and the position of the camera. There's no way to tell who that is. Alright, I confess, it's me. I mean, it might as well be, but that was to say that Jung Kook and Taeyang were on a date together and they were getting ramen together. And Jung Kook had said that before, that Ramen and Chill is like the Korean Netflix and Chill. But as I said, this leakage of CCTV footage is very much up in the air, and whether dating or not, obviously Jung Kook and Taeyang hang out with each other. Let's wait to hear their statement if the two are dating. Right now, we know nothing. Let's not assume. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, a link down below. Thanks, this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.